This is Robert Strohmeyer, driver of the '88 STL CRX. This is race 2 at Auto Club Speedway for the Porterfield SCCA major race, and then also restricted regional. Some of you guys might actually watch my other race. I'm going to continue to actually commentate this race as well. However, Marco Gallaher was kind enough to actually give me some video because of a actual race incident that happened. So I have his video. He actually is the second place in STL, so he starts a couple roads back, but we actually get to watch his video as well on this video. So or watch his footage as well on his video. So it's going to be pretty interesting for you guys to watch. So we're coming up to the start. I'm behind this red RX3, and we're off. Alright, so that's a GTL car, Sentra, that's in front of me. Also, he's behind I think that's an HP Yaris, and then also a T4 Mustang. Alright, so we're going to NASCAR 1. Coming out of NASCAR 2 right now, coming up on this GTL car, and also that rear-wheel drive Mini, which is pretty quick in the infield, doesn't have that much legs on the front. We have these two T4 Mustangs that come in actually contact with me right there. He's actually, and then he hits me right here too, runs up the side of my car. Luckily, his front tire went right over my rear tire. Luckily, I didn't actually damage anything other than a quarter panel. Didn't cut a tire or anything like that, so I was very lucky. So now we're finally settled into single file. An HP car, or FB car actually passes. So that T4 car kind of slips inside of Marco here, kind of almost pushes him off the track a little bit. This guy races hard. I was kind of annoyed that he actually didn't come in and at least talk about what happened. Guy races hard, I understand that, but I think the contact was kind of avoidable. So even now he tried a late brake, kind of squeezes inside of Marco here, which is good for me because it puts a car in between us. Marco was very quick today. Alright, so I'm just following some people hitting these cones on the outside there. I'm just following this GTL car, trying to get a good draft off of him. And he's a little bit far away from the draft, but Marco here is actually drafting that T4 Mustang right now, and he's getting a really good pull down the straightaway. As you can see, we're pretty close on times for the first lap. I was a 2:04.0 and he was a 2:04.1. Alright, so we're coming into lap 2, turn 3, coming down. He's still behind that T4 Mustang. He actually passed him and then got repassed on the brake zone. As we're coming around here, I get a good run on GTL car. He got loose coming out of turn 4, and I go down on the inside. Now this really helps me out because I have now 2 cars in between me and him. So settle into a good race here. Chasing down this blue Mustang, he's leading T4 right now. The red one is in second place in T4. Also, a local Vegas driver, Brandon Chappell, actually finishes third in this T4 race in that class. So Marco has a good run on this guy. He's going to walk on the outside here. I don't know if he gets past me. He does get past me with the brakes on. His brakes are now warm. His tires are warm, so he has pretty good brakes after his tires are warmed up. A little bit loose on exit though with the rear-wheel drive car. Alright, so Still getting kind of a good toe down the front straight from this T4 Mustang. Kind of put a little gap between me and Marco. Yeah, so I got about 6/10 on that last lap between me and him, which was good. I think I'm probably up to about a 7/10 of a second now, 8/10 of a second. This Mustang's pretty fast in a straight line. Also, the second place T4 guy gets around Marco again. Where I make up some ground in this Mustang. Kind of take a look on the inside as Marco actually is passing. Kind of squeezes him out right here, which is kind of weird. I'm still trying to look ahead. I have to lift off here before I go into the chicane. Try to put a little distance between us, that way I can suck up in the brake zone. That way I don't kill my momentum coming out of this right-hander. That way I get a good run off the corner. This sets me up nice and smooth. Just kind of carries the speed all the way down. We end up about door to door as we go into the brake zone, and I'm able to carry my brakes a little bit later into the corner. Give me a nice clean entrance and exit to this little chicane here, little bus stop area. Now I have, again, 2 more cars between me and him. It's pretty good. Looks like the GTL car has a good run on the T4 Mustang. Mustang drives a weird line all the way down onto the apron inside the white line. He decides to come back up right before turn 1. So we have only about a 2/10 difference between our lap 3 lap time. Here in this corner, turn 1, turn 2, I'm flat. I don't lift at all. The car's set up really nice. A lot of put a good setup on it. We mess with the adjustments on this corner though. Kind of mess up right here, and I give a position back to the GTL car. The main reason why I was doing that is I was looking at my rearview mirror. I was driving to see if Marco was getting around those cars, and I just oversped into the turn 3 just because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in front of me. So now this kind of hurts me because the GTL's tires are now up to temp, and with him getting loose in turn 3, giving me that good pass a couple laps ago, he's now a little bit harder to pass. I have a decent run on him here, but his car has some really good legs. Marco has a good run on his T4 Mustang. And I decide to back off. I don't push this brake. He gives me racing room. Marco gets by the T4 Mustang. Now it's right behind me. And I could have took that position away from the GTL car, but just to avoid any contact, I kind of... discretion is the better part of valor, I guess. So now I know he's right behind me. I got a car in front of me, and so just trying to get out in front of this GTL car as soon as possible. That way I can put some distance between me and myself and Marco. I actually lost about a second and a half to Marco on that lap. So. Try to follow the GTL car as much to get as much of the draft as possible. Again, not wanting to dive down on the inside, risking a contact. Stay behind him. Marco seems to be right on my tail. I know this is hurting me because I have to lift right here before I go into the chicane. So I turn in here, get a good run on him. So this is a great shot from Marco's car, getting past his GTL car. Now Marco's car is very good under brakes. As you run his brakes, and you see he's very opportunistic. Stays right behind me, gets right behind the GTL car, so I didn't have that benefit of getting that car in between us. That was very good on him to actually get a little bit loose there, push out to the outside. I don't think I lost too much to him. He didn't have enough steam to get past me, but he's right on my bumper now. My spotter is basically saying that he's right on my draft. So yeah, he gained another tick on me as well in the last lap. The good part though is it almost seems like the car just sticks to the ground with the bank. I learned that they're pretty evenly paced on that bank right there. I turn a little bit early for that, but the car changes direction pretty well. I can get back on power. Pull a tenth or so on in that little area right there. So basically at this point I'm just trying to keep my head down, actually run some fast laps because he's right on my tail, so this is basically me putting the hammer down. I'm flat out in fifth gear in that little chicane section right there. Hard brakes going into the right. On throttle heading out. The car was feeling really good in that section. The on turn in, the car was loose, rotated for me, and then when I was on throttle in the middle of the corner, it was just sticking. So it was, the car felt really good in that last corner on the straight away. So at this point, this starts. I get a 155.03. The lap record originally was a 155.964, I believe. And that was set by the previous owner of this car in this car. So I just, with that lap, I just reset the lap record for STL class. And this actually, me just trying to get away from Marco here. I put my head down, and that's actually 4 laps. I actually go underneath what the original lap record was in the next 4 laps. So I set a series of 55s. Eek. Let's see, I gotta keep this on. Just full throttle right through there. Car feels amazing. At some point here, I just go to my in-car video, so we kind of lose track of each other. So around this part of the race, I lose communication with the spotter, so I don't really know how close Marco is. I see him in my rearview mirror right now, but I'm coming up, as you can see, just a little bit ahead of me. I'm coming up to lap traffic, and once I start getting to other lapped cars, when I'm looking in my rearview mirror, I don't really realize if that's Marco coming up or not, so I get kind of anxious behind one of the cars coming up here. So that was a 155.395 or 359, and he actually set it pretty. I mean, he's right off the last record space at a 156 flat. So kind of tap on the steering wheel on the front straightaways to try to release some stress on my hands. That last lap was a pretty stressful lap, just because I'm really trying to get away from So I'm currently on Hoosier A7 tires. They were phenomenal throughout the whole race. Couldn't really complain. The tires were pretty much at their peak at this part of the race. Also, too, when we started the race with a full tank of gas all the way to the gills, because we didn't really know what our fuel burn would be for this longer race period. Yesterday's race was 12 laps. This one was either 35 minutes or 17 laps, and we actually wound up getting all 17 laps in. So this is about halfway through the race right now. Crossing the finish line lap. So this is actually my best lap at 1:55.297. This is currently the new STL lap record for Auto Club Speedway. And at the time, even though I was trying to get away from Marco, I didn't think I was going that fast. So I think my spotter came in right there and said, you did it. Pace is good, you did a 55.2. And I believe after I heard that, that's pretty much the last thing I heard from him. There, I got kind of on the top of the curbing there, got to lose a little grip, but got it gathered up right to pass this T4 car. I don't know why I do this. You'll see me do this a couple times where I take my right hand off the steering wheel as I'm going through an actual corner. That's pretty interesting. During my work, I actually drift. Oh, there's two cars right there. There's a local yellow as I pass through there. If you saw them, if you rewind, you'll see two cars on the left-hand side. As they're going through that little bus stop chicane area, they touched and they spun off the left-hand side of the track. But as far as taking my hands off the steering wheel, at work I drift, and one of the corners, a long left-hander, I drift, and I'll give the passenger maybe either a thumbs up while I'm driving, or I might do a little pound. And so I'm used to taking my right hand off the steering wheel and doing something with it other than driving, which is not necessarily the best to do when you're little racing. But sometimes you just gotta say thanks for whatever anybody's doing. Alright, come in lap 9. So that's a 55.817. I think that is the last time I'm ever in the 55s for the race. I think I catch up to a couple lap cars here, and then I start catching up to that Mazda RX-3 that was in the last race. I catch up to him as well. See right here, I don't know. I think I was driving because I didn't have any hearing with my spotter. Again, I was driving in my rearview mirror for that corner. Didn't learn my lesson the first time, and kind of made a mess. Kind of screwed up there. So without any communication with a spotter, I don't really know. When you turn around here, or actually when you turn around to the left after coming into the infield, I can see part of this car. I just don't know how much time that would be. So I think I'm sitting at, hindsight, I think think I'm sitting at probably around 8-second gap right now. But at the time, I thought he was a lot closer than that. So again, there goes the hand off the steering wheel again, and again. But no harm, no foul, I guess. And that was an STL, it was one of the STL cars, Mazda RX-8. Or that might have been, actually, I think that was a T4 car. There's also another RX-8 later on. So yeah, I still have a good little gap on him. 3/10 of a lap on that one. Not a lot, but again, I didn't know at the time that I was still having a little bit of gap as far as lap times go. As you can hear, I'm coming up to the RX2 right now. That rotary sounds amazing. The car was very stable. We had a little bit more pressure on the right hand side of the car than left, so on these slower right hand or left hand corners, the right front would want to push a little bit. But when I was going into a right hand corner, the left front just stuck right nice. We added a little bit of pressure to the right hand side based on the Hoosier guidelines specifically for this racetrack, going into a banked NASCAR style 1 and 2 at full tilt. So we just wanted to make sure that the tires had enough pressure to make it the whole race. As you can see, he's locking up the tires going into brake zones. He's done it the last 2 brake zones now. He's kind of running the rear tires off this car, and so lap after lap I actually get pretty close to him. Like here, I suck up really good on him, but as soon as he gets it straight, pointed straight, and he's on the gas, he starts pulling away. He's like a freight train. I didn't want to go all the way up to the top to do a draft. I probably wouldn't stay in this draft too long anyways. But again, we're back down into the 56s. I think Marco got caught up behind one of the cars back there. I'm not too sure what happened. This car lets me go on the right hand side, which is very nice of them. So as you can see, that RX3 just has huge amounts of legs on it. It pulls me down the straight pretty well. So at this point, I believe, it's hard to tell when this has already been about a week. So right here, I'm kind of shaking my hand on the steering wheel. I think I'm quite content. I think I have a pretty good lead, even though I don't have comms with my spotter. I think I have a pretty good lead on my competition. But you'll see, like, I get caught up behind him really for a long time in this corner. So I know he's hurting my lap time a little bit, and I think either another lap and a half we'll start to see. Yeah, so I'm in the 58s now, 58.2. So I lost 0.2 of a second to Marco. So I think I kind of get a little bit impatient, either this lap or next lap behind him, because I think he's slowing me down a little bit too much, and maybe make it a race for Marco here for first place. gave some space to this gentleman right here. He gave some space to me. That was really nice of him. He also gave up this corner. That was very nice of him too. Making it an easy pass there. I actually think this is a STL RX 8 coming up here. RX 3 gets past him pretty quickly. And he actually get a little toe off of him going onto the front straight. Had to slow up just a little bit. A little bit of a toe. I had to pass him on the outside, I think. Pretty rough transition when you come up that early onto the banking. So I don't know this, but I think I have a lot of time. So I'm at a 59.1. He's at a 0.16. I didn't know that, so I've already lost about 2 to 3 seconds off my normal pace. So I think he's a little bit closer than what I would really like right now, even though I don't know he just did a slower lap. So as you'll probably see, I grow impatient with the RX3 here. Tow truck or flat tow truck was going out to go get somebody here. Oh, yeah, there he is. And this car is fast. As soon as he gets pointed in the right direction, and he's gone. Felt like I got really held up here. And he's gone. Alright, so I lose a 10th in. I'm back into the 58s. Kind of stress relieve my hands a little bit. Again, I feel like I'm not running at optimal pace right now, so I'm getting kind of worried that Marco's getting close. He's back in the 50s. Now he's at 58, so... This is where he starts really running off his tires. Definitely have the better corner exit speed. I just can't get around the mid-corner. So yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit to the point where I need to start getting around this guy, or else Marco might actually make this a race. Jump on him here, but he just pulls me. So at this point, there's nobody in front of him. We're in two separate classes, so I guess I was getting frustrated with one, losing some time, letting second place catch up. And then also too, we're not racing for place, so I didn't think that there would be any problem with me just kind of slipping by. And right here, like, this is my bread and butter as far as where I get my lap time from, and I'm just getting held up by him, wagging his tail and stuff. So me and the driver of the RX3 had a little conversation afterwards. It was all fun and games. I was a little bit frustrated, yeah, so I almost lost about 4 seconds that lap to Marco. So he's coming. So it was all good, it worked out, but I'd much rather have gotten by him a little bit sooner. This is a red T4 FRS, I believe, that's coming up in the distance here. This is actually the same exact car that Oscar Jackson Jr., I think his name is, actually drove it to a runoff championship in 2016 at Mid-Ohio. So this car has, this T4 car definitely has some pace. I think it was a different driver driving it today, or that race, so I think he was just trying to get used to the car a little bit. So I really would like him to move now. One thing I need to work on as a driver is being patient behind somebody, even if I know a competitor might be getting closer. And if I had my spotter would have probably told me that that is only 2 more laps to go. I'm right on his, like, pass him on the outside here. Just as I get past him, he starts coming around me on the outside, and I just really didn't want him to do it. But this is the white flag anyways. After I saw the white flag, I looked in my mirror and I didn't see Marco, so I knew I was okay. So after that, I kind of laid off a little bit as far as my angst. This is kind of weird. I wanted to make sure that I got the job done here. Kind of moved over on the left-hand side. I don't know why I did that. I'm not racing him. But got inside, made the actual, got the job done. And we're off in the distance. This was a pretty eventful race. Getting hit on the first lap, and then that battle during the first 8-9 laps with Marco was pretty exciting for this second race of the season. As we're coming down, we got one more, about half a lap or so. Right now I'm feeling pretty good. Everything's going alright. Car's there. Last shift up to 5th. And we're on our way to the checkered flag for the second win of the weekend and a lap record. So couldn't have been a better weekend for me and the team. So yeah, back on. He's still got another half second there on the 56.7 versus the 56.2. So he was coming for me. But thank you for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Superstroby, at Superstroby. I also have Robert Strohmeyer Racing on Facebook. Please follow me. I'd like to say thank you to Marlon, Eladio, Jean, my fiance Florence, Blaine, Paul Crafassi for helping me fixed the car: Dale, Franklin, Thomas Smith, and Aaron. If I missed you, sorry about that, but it was a great weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.